What's happening, guys? Welcome to Just the Radio after about probably a 3, 4, 5, 6 month hiatus. I have not been on the podcast and I'm joined by Asad, bro. Thanks for coming.
Thanks so much for having me, boy. I've been wanting to get into the podcast for a while now.
Yeah, bro. So, I've had not many guests, so I'm glad you are now. And people might not know, but I used to live with Asad for 2 years. There was a completely platonic relationship. People don't get ideas yet. We lived together while we were students.
Remember those days, eh? If you take it back, what was it, first year university still?
Yeah, it was 2015.
2015, we were studying at Tux, obviously, before myself and JC actually physically met. I used to see him across, sitting on the little bench, eating his meals, because I think at that stage you were prepping for...
Yeah, I was bulking for WBFF, yeah.
WBFF. That was the year you won your pro card, eh?
Yes, yeah, 2015, yeah.
So you were 19 still, prepping for the WBFF, where you won. And I'd look at this guy and I'm like, this man is dedicated. So like obviously, like the world works, brought us together, both into gym. I guess ever since then, we kind of just clicked on a whole new level. I mean, university was great, but I think for me, in the 4 years being at Tux, I'll remember myself and JC training in the gym.
Yeah, that's all. Basically, we studied. But basically, we just used that as an excuse to stay in Pretoria and be together and just chill and train and have a good time. So, as you said, basically, I would eat my meals on campus. I would make sure that I am sticking to all my meal times. I mean, think about how we've changed. Our mentality's changed now.
Tremendously, bro. I can just imagine. Like, obviously, when I saw you, I knew immediately, like, that's dedication. You can't... One thing you need to realize, and I think that's why we've been so successful in the fitness industry, is if you've got a goal... You weren't worried about what other people thought. A lot of people looked at you funny because you were eating out of a Tupperware. But
I was also wearing a vest on campus, so that's also probably why.
But I mean, it's sacrifice. You could have just eaten at the tuck shop like 90% of the people at university, but you had a long-term goal that you were working towards, and I think that's where I first related to you, because I saw how much passion and how much dedication you put into things, and I think that's where we clicked on a level. Because we knew if you want to achieve something big in life, the first thing that comes down to is your dedication, and the fact that you're not trying to please everyone and mainly focused on the long-term goal. So I mean, but yeah, like you say, we're coming back, starting out eating from Tupperwares to what we do now. It's changed a lot. Looks like a different life.
No, literally. And for those people that might not know the difference, we originally were eating like 5-6 meals a day. Made sure our first meal was at 7:30. We didn't want to do like fasted training. We were scared that if we trained on an empty stomach that it might, sacrifice muscle. But I mean, the way we've changed now, and also everyone thought like 45 minutes after training you have to eat a meal. And I think if you really want to bulk up and you're really battling to put on size, you might need to do that.
Yeah.
But I think for our purposes now, and I think for 99% of people's purposes on this planet, actually, we don't need to be eating so many meals a day.
Exactly, bro. I think when people look at us now and they say, how do you eat all those meals? How do you still have abs and look like that? 90% of the time they're like, oh, he must have a fast metabolism. He's blessed with genetics. That's why he can do that. But honestly, people need to realize there's more than one way about going about things to achieve a specific goal. Just because someone said you need to eat 6 or 7 meals a day so that you don't miss the anabolic window doesn't mean that that's the only way. There's a lot of other ways, and I think it's proved now that you can still... I mean, you competed, you prepped for your last show at Muscle Malusha. Before the end, you were fasting.
Yeah, I literally... So my whole prep... Going into it, the bulk, well, not really the bulk, but going into it maybe up until 12 weeks out, I was still eating 3 meals a day. And, going into the show, from 12 weeks out up until literally the day before, I was eating twice a day and I was fasting. The only day I didn't fast was the day of the show.
Yeah.
When obviously I needed to have carbs in the morning.
And so people would say, obviously, I assume you did your morning cardio. And the first thing people would be like, you can't do morning cardio on an empty stomach. You're going to lose your gains. And then immediately after your training session, did you smash a protein shake 5 minutes after?
I would literally train at 5 in the morning and then eat my first meal at 12, 1, 2, depending on the day. It was never a fixed time.
Yeah. And from that, could you see any muscle loss?
No. And I think the thing is that people think... There's so many people that want to get into fasting and there's so many people that want to fast, but they're so hesitant because they think, if I don't eat for 16 hours a day, that's going to be terrible. I'm going to lose all my muscle. But I mean, you're not going to. I mean, Asad is the first person who actually introduced me to fasting. He's the first person that showed me how to do it. And fortunately, we were together. So he helped me transition from 6 meals, 7 meals a day. And now I have so much more enjoyment of my food every single meal. I'm still eating clean. Don't get me wrong that I think most people think, you know, you can do super flexible dieting if you're only eating 2 meals a day.
Yeah.
But you won't see results that way if every single meal has a donut in it.
No, exactly. I think the one thing that people get wrong with intermittent fasting is they think, okay, I haven't eaten the whole day, so I can eat whatever I want, and I'm still going to achieve this amazing physique. But the main goal and the basics with any eating plan and with whatever your goals are, doesn't matter if you're having 5 meals a day, 10 meals a day, or 1 meal a day. If you're sticking to your calories and the macros that you have set for that specific day, it doesn't matter if you're eating it in 5 meals or breaking it up into 10 meals or one big meal. You might feel full after that big meal. But at the end of the day, you're hitting your macros, you're hitting your calories. And that is the one thing that I think people always overlook. They think intermittent fasting is the magic trick. But it's honestly the exact same as if you had to eat the same food in 10 different meals. It's all relative to the calories you need, the macronutrient split you're trying to go for. And it's fitting that, I think, into your daily schedule. So like for you're someone that's very busy. Could you see yourself eating 10 meals a day? Not because you think it's too bro science for you, but because from a schedule perspective, do you have enough time to eat 10 meals a day?
I hate to break it to you, I'm not that busy. No, but I
Let's take
definitely,
it back
regardless
before
of
Corona.
that, Corona has messed up everyone's schedule now. But regardless of how busy I am, I think I still want to only have 2 or 3 meals a day, 2 meals with one snack.
Yeah.
I feel I don't want to be cooking 4 meals a day in the kitchen 4 times a day, because obviously now most people are still at home. Some people are working, but when I was more busy, and let's say you're out most of the day, it's a pleasure not having to worry about any food up until 2 o'clock. It's so nice all I need to worry about, which I do worry about a lot, is getting a coffee. Getting a few, maybe 3, which could be bad. I know there's a lot of people that might just comment at us for having 4 cups of coffee before
caffeine.
12 o'clock. But I mean, there's a lot of worse things you can do to yourself than have caffeine.
No, exactly.
And we do have times and periods where we go off caffeine, we go off those kind of things in the pre-workouts. We have non-stimulant pre-workouts. So don't think that we are always like on these stimulants to suppress our appetites, because we don't actually need these stimulants to suppress our appetites, because just by doing it over time, our appetites are suppressed. And I can't even, sometimes it's 12 o'clock, I'm like, I haven't even eaten, and you realize it's 12 o'clock, you're like, I could actually still go a few more hours, I don't have to eat now.
Yeah, exactly. I think also maybe it's a bit different now when you're at home because you're not as busy as you used to. But for me personally as well, I would go until 3-4 in the afternoon and I'd forget that I haven't eaten.
Yeah.
And it's not because I'm trying to like starve myself or anything, or I have an eating disorder. It's just because I've been busy, I've been productive. And one thing I've seen with intermittent fasting is you're not worried about, oh, it's 12 o'clock, I need to get to the stove to cook my next meal. You can stay productive, you can do whatever it is you need to do. And when you're finished and you're done with whatever it is that you're doing, you can then decide, okay, it's 4 o'clock, I haven't eaten, what am I going to eat today? So it's that, and then the benefits of, I guess, the flexibility of deciding what you're going to have, but knowing the calories and the macros you're still trying to stick to for the day.
Yeah, so it's just, guys, it's total consumption at the end of the day. We're not saying fasting is going to help you lose weight. You can eat 5 meals, 10 meals, 1 meal. Doesn't matter. As long as it's clean, as long as it's, healthy food, you will lose. If you need to eat 2,000 calories to lose weight, however you want as a person, you want to have 10 meals, you want to have 2 meals, doesn't matter. The results are the same. However, with fasting, there does come the benefits of, it improves longevity. Sometimes it reduces cancer. There's been people that have had like 46-hour fasts. Obviously, that's extreme. I don't think I could ever go there. But there's people, and they've reduced the amount of cancer that they had in their bodies. There's been tons of studies that show how beneficial fasting is.
Yeah, no. The literature, the studies, everything is there. Even for those of you that don't know, like even the top professional athletes. I know Lewis Hamilton is. You should know who he is. One of the best Formula 1 drivers. I used to read that on a Sunday he'd do a 24-hour fast. Not to try and lose weight or anything, but because when you're eating, your body's constantly digesting food. And when you're not and in a fasted state, your body has time to repair cells that have been damaged in the body. So the professional athletes would go on a Sunday after a hectic week of training, and they played a game or they had a race on the Saturday. Sunday was there as a fast so that their body could start repairing cells quicker in the body, because it's not always digesting food. So there's a lot of benefits, and the studies are there. I think
I've never felt healthier since I've been fasting.
Same, exactly. And I think people are just, I don't even know how to say it, like they don't want to change their behavior because they've been brought up this way.
Yeah, it's the whole thing where you need to have breakfast. I know a friend of mine who actually the other day they were sick and they fast as well. They were at work and they felt a little bit sick and they felt nauseous. And the first thing that everybody said there was, "Oh yeah, it's because you haven't had breakfast." And I mean, it was 10 o'clock.
Exactly.
There's no one in the world that has to eat before 10 o'clock unless you haven't eaten the day before.
Exactly. And even that connotation of breakfast is the most important part of the day. I still don't know who came up with that.
Yeah.
There's no science that backs that. But because people, and I guess it's the mainstream media that's pushed it out for however long it's been.
It's the cereal companies trying to get money. Bro.
Exactly. People are going to push things out there because
just
they want
eat
you
your
to buy
cereal
the
for
product.
dinner, guys. That's what we do.
That's what we do, exactly. So, I mean, there's truth in a lot of the things you hear, but also you need to realize that even if it's just a supplement company and they say have protein, you don't necessarily need protein to achieve this amazing physique, but that's how they're making an income. That's how they're going to promote their brand. So they're going to find loopholes and ways to make it seem like that's the thing that you need.
Everyone's going to market to make their brand get more money. It's the same way that everybody says, like, you can't have carbs at dinner.
Oh, the famous one.
Yeah, you can't. It's about the total. It's about calories, so carb consumption throughout the day. If you have no carbs and only have carbs in the evening, or you have all your carbs in the morning, there's no difference.
Exactly. It's still in the 24 hours. You've got that amount of carbs for the day, that amount of fats, that amount of protein, and those are the calories you stuck to.
And also, we're talking about how the one friend that got sick. And then people thought that it was because they hadn't had breakfast. But I mean, if you have red meat, it takes 48 hours to digest. So I mean, you still got some of that food digesting in your body.
Exactly. I mean, even if you go back to like the Bible, I mean, there's been, I think it was like a 20-something day water fast.
Yeah.
But it shows you that you're not going to lose all your gains in a day or a few hours of not eating something because you missed the anabolic
And I mean,
window.
in our 16-hour fast, half of that time sleeping.
Exactly. 8 hours of sleeping.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. If someone was watching and listening to the podcast now and they said, okay, I want to start intermittent fasting, what is the first step? For me, instead of trying to give them this whole scientific based way of doing things, all I say is you wake up and skip breakfast. Skip breakfast, see how your day goes, have your first meal at lunch, continuously do that, and slowly your body will get used to that. You'll get used to not having breakfast. And all of a sudden, in 2 months' time, that meal that's at 12 o'clock is now pushed to 4 because you're just used to that lifestyle.
Yeah. Literally just replace your breakfast with a coffee and 2 cups of water.
Exactly. You still get the caffeine in the morning. You still feel alive. You're still energetic. It's just, I think people, it's in their mind, honestly. You're not going to be weak in the gym the next day in the morning because you didn't eat breakfast.
Bro, we've had sessions where we trained fasted in the morning and fasted in the afternoon.
We used to do 2 fasted sessions
and
a
then
day.
we ate in the evening and we were fine.
Exactly.
And also, that's what I was just thinking this earlier. People think that because you fast and having less meals in the day, your metabolism is going to slow down. I can promise you right now, the moment Asad and I eat our first meal, 30 seconds after that, we need to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Our metabolism, I honestly, when I fast, I go 3 or 4 times a day. So
exactly.
That's a bit much information, but when I'm not fasting, I literally maybe go once every 2 days.
No, it's true. And so that's why I think, like, besides the benefits of being more flexible in your diet and stuff like that, there's a lot of health benefits that comes with intermittent fasting. From a body perspective, from your mind, cleansing a lot of the things in your body that you wouldn't normally be able to do because you're constantly eating. And so I think people need to realize and take a step back and see that intermittent fasting can be used for more than just losing weight or getting in shape or eating less meals because you're busy in the day. There's a lot of benefits that comes with it. The science is there. You just need to go on the internet, search a bit, and kind of just see all of the facts that are there. And I guess, like I said, people are just in that mind of, I've been doing this for so many years, why would I want to change that? I'm going to lose my gains. I'm going to lose this. I've worked so hard for this. And
you've done the same thing all the time. How can you expect different results? You need to try something different.
Exactly.
And it might not work for you, but then don't do it.
How would you know if it's something that's going to work for you?
But also you
Until
need
try.
to try it for at least a month, at least.
That's the worst part. People will do it for 1 week, but because they have this idea of intermittent fasting is the magic trick. I will lose weight. I'm going to lose 5 kilos in the first week. Those are the ones that don't
Because
really
they're
last
still
long.
eating all their nonsense. They think I'm not going to eat the whole day. 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock comes, they're at a business meeting, there's donuts, whatever, they have some donuts, then they go home, they order a pizza with their wife, like, all I had today was pizza, that's all. But because you're not, following, your body can't absorb those beneficial nutrients from those things. Yes, there's certain ingredients in those pizzas and that can be beneficial, but I mean, if you get home, I would honestly, obviously I love pizza, I love donuts, I love everything, but I would rather do that twice a week. And then still, like, I love being able to have like 400 grams of cooked rice and like 5 chicken patties and
Do you not feel fuller eating the 400 grams of rice and chicken than the full pizza? I'm more hungrier after eating the pizza.
Like, guys, my lunch is literally a full avo, like 4 chicken patties, 4 rice cakes and nuts, and there's so much. There's literally like 1,000 calories that goes into one meal.
Yeah.
And then also, because I'm doing this, it's all healthy food. But because I'm eating so much and so much healthy, good food, and I mean, a full avo, I love avo, it tastes great. I'm getting a lot of protein from, my protein source, and I'm getting fats, and I'm getting carbs. I don't feel like cheating as often.
Exactly.
Where you have 6 small, tiny meals a day, it just makes me so much more hungry, and I get irritated, and I'm always thinking, when's my next meal?
Exactly. So then, if I had to ask you, intermittent fasting, do you see this as a sustainable lifestyle?
It's literally, I don't think, ever since I started with you, I don't think I'm ever going to stop. Obviously, I'm not going to now have kids and be like, nah, bro, you're not having breakfast.
Yeah.
Obviously, kids, they need to make their own decisions when they're older. Even if he doesn't, like, I'm not going to force my kid to go to the gym. If he doesn't want to go to the gym, don't go to the gym. He doesn't want to fast, don't fast. Obviously, when I'm feeding a baby, I'm not going to make the baby fast. I've got puppies now, I'm not going to make them fast. But I've also been reading studies how good it is for dogs to fast. But I mean, they're animals. Lions fast. Lions don't eat 4 meals a day.
And then they run as fast as they can to catch their food the next day. Just like if you think about it, you go way back even to the caveman days. They didn't eat the whole day. No. They had to go catch their food in the evenings every single day.
We've just become lazy and become like conditioned to being able to eat 6 meals a day.
Exactly. So I just think it's about people understanding, because the one thing I think that it's not really flawed, because I guess everyone in the fitness industry is trying to give their perspective. And so I think for someone that wants to lose weight, they can be bombarded with the amount of information out there. So I'm not saying go and try every single diet that has been written down and is on the internet for you, but I'm saying, and myself and JC are saying, if you're going to try intermittent fasting, don't think it's a 1 week magic tool that's going to just change your body and everything. Give it a month, give it 2 months, see how you adapt on the diet, and give it time to kind of help your body adapt to whatever is going on. There's a lot of benefits. You can really make this a lifestyle that's sustainable, because like we said, we kind of miss the breakfast, and when it gets to like lunchtime, late lunch, early evening, the nice thing is we literally decide what we're going to eat for that day. We sit down, okay, maybe it's a bit of admin, but because we kind of have these goals, we want to get to this specific macronutrient for the day, these calories. I don't wake up and say, I know what I'm having today. I go through my day, do my thing.
Which is so nice.
It's exactly.
Not having something on paper, you have to eat this.
It's that lifestyle might have worked for the typical bodybuilder. But for a typical normal person that wants to just lose weight, it's so restrictive. And then what happens when you get a family, like you say, you have children, you with family, and you take in a Tupperware to Sunday lunch.
Yeah. We both did that.
Exactly,
we both went to, literally, like in varsity, we'd go to a club, and then we'd be like, hey, I need to go out, bro. I need to go have my meal.
I'll never forget that day.
Bro, we're running out of time, so tell me about going vegan.
Oh, yeah. So I've been vegan now. This is the 7th month. And once again, something that's very new to people. Something that's completely different to the way people normally are used to doing things. Eating meat. The way a normal man sees things is, I'll eat meat like a man. I'll eat this big steak like a man. So I got a lot of negative backlash at the beginning. But basically, I went vegan to try and show people that you could still achieve a considerably good physique to the point where you go on stage.
Which you did.
which I
last year,
did
yeah.
without having to eat meat. In terms of the competition results, not the best.
But I wouldn't say that was because of,
Oh, yeah, no.
That wasn't because you weren't eating meat.
No, I definitely think that I need more time to put more muscle on before I can start trying to make my way to men's physique, because I'm big guys. But
Yeah, no, they're very big.
in my opinion, I think I achieved my best physique to date while I followed. So I did an 8-week vegan prep, and I went fully vegan. So I cut all dairy, all meat. I had to do a lot of research. I think a lot of people that go vegan always think that, once again, it's this magic trick. And then you find out that there's nutrient-dense food that they're not eating, and they're malnourished, they're not getting the right vitamins and minerals, but because they haven't done the research. The same thing if you had to go on a normal meat diet. You're not just going to go eat poultry from a can because that has protein. You're going to go look at the best sources and try and make meals that can fit around those protein sources. Same thing with the vegan diet. I had to do my research, found the protein sources that I think I would enjoy eating, added the fats, the carbs, a lot of veg, and I mean, in the 8 weeks, I think I did a considerably good job. Very happy with my physique, and I guess once again, it's something that I've tried. It's new to me. I'm learning every day still, and it's opened my whole perspective on nutrition in a good way. So I think if a client ever wanted to come to me and say, I want to prep for a show, I want to do a vegan diet, or I want to switch to a meat-free eating plan, at least I have some knowledge now in that aspect, and I can speak from experience at least.
For those people that maybe don't know and they think, but what am I going to eat? Am I just going to eat rice and lentils? What are the healthy alternatives for proteins or for meat?
So first of all, as a vegan, the negative connotation is vegans eat salads. That's it. It's green and only green.
You would die if you ate a bag of lettuce a day.
Exactly. They call me the rabbit boy.
Yeah.
Anyway, so, I mean, protein sources, there's actually so many. You got your beans, lentils, quinoa. There's meat replacements as well now that you can buy. I just don't always eat that just because I'm not too sure what ingredients are involved to get something to taste exactly like meat. It's actually a bit scary because it tastes very similar to meat. And then you obviously got stuff that has soy. And that's been a very big debate. Because they speak about soy raising your estrogen levels, especially for a guy. And I was also very skeptical, but I mean, I've been eating soy for a while now, and I guess everything in moderation is just the way you should live life. So there's a lot of protein sources that people don't realize exist. The fact that I get 5 grams of protein from a serving of broccoli. You'd never ever look at that.
How much broccoli are you eating?
That's 100 grams of broccoli.
That is quite a bit.
So
but if you cook it nicely and well, it could be nice.
Same with spinach.
Yeah.
Good amounts of protein in spinach. You can take a big bag, you cook it down, it doesn't look like anything.
So obviously now being vegan, there's no difference between the amount of protein you're getting at the end of the day, or is there?
In my personal opinion, I think, so I've been eating a lot less protein than when I was on the meat diet, but I firmly believe that the quality of protein makes a big difference. So the one thing on the vegan diet is you're getting the protein source from its natural source, compared to obviously with meat, there's a lot of things that goes into the process before it comes to the
That is the problem with all the the testosterone that get pumped into cows, the chickens, the way they are treated. There's a lot of things that, and personally, I've also, you just kind of pretend that you don't know what's going on. For me, and there's a lot of people that eat meat, and I do feel super, I'm ashamed that the way they are treated is happening just because I need to be fed.
Yeah. There's documentaries that are being released almost every day now on Netflix. So it gives you a bit of context to see the behind the scenes of how that steak or chicken gets to your plate, A lot of hormones are being injected and stuff like that. So it's not necessarily the best and healthiest protein source. So that's why I say I've been eating about 100 grams of protein a day from plant sources. And I generally think the reason why I've been able to maintain most of my muscle is purely because of the source of protein that I'm getting is just so much more purer. There's not much stuff involved in the process of getting it from, obviously, the grass to me, unless it's those meat-free alternatives. I'm really not sure what goes into those, but like the beans and stuff like that, you're getting it in its natural form. Yeah. So I think the purity is just so much better, and that's why I can get away with eating 100 grams of protein a day, even for prep.
Well, I mean, it's not like you've lost muscle.
That's the thing. So the nice thing is with the prep that I did, I was at Planet Fitness and I did the in-body. And obviously, no, it's not the most accurate, but if you keep doing in bodies, you can then judge it on.
Yeah, if you
just
do an
the
in
in-body
body at the
assessment.
beginning and at the end, you
It's the
that's
same
still
system,
did in
you know?
body. Yeah.
So I was doing in bodies every week on at the end of my week on a Friday to see what my muscle mass was like, to see what my body fat was like. And at the end, I dropped 4.5% body fat, and I actually kept the muscle that I started with.
Oh, good.
So it was very interesting for me
Yes.
because I was like, okay, how much protein do you actually need? Is there a number now, or is it coming down to the source of your protein as well? So there's a lot of things that goes into it, and I think people are so obsessed with the amount of protein they're getting in a day instead of looking at how pure is that protein
Yeah.
I'm getting today? Where is it coming from? Has it been injected with all of these hormones to get to my plates or whatever it is? So, I mean, anyone wanting to start a vegan journey, I think, realize that there's a lot of protein sources out there that you can get freely, very available, and not very expensive. I think a lot of people are also concerned about the price that you pay on a weekly basis for vegan grocery.
It's probably, I'm sure it's much the same. Or
It's
if
very
not,
similar.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're on a meat-based diet, 90% of people now are going to go buy the free-range
Yo, and
chicken.
it's expensive, bro.
And that's
Yeah.
expensive stuff. And the stuff I get is cheaper than that. So, I mean, I was still a student last year and the year before. So, I mean, I was living on a student budget. So, I mean, it wasn't too
You were
bad.
able to.
And I was able to sustain myself. So,
Okay. Well, if anyone's looking to hit up a vegan diet, your boy Asad here will help you out. Drop him a DM.
maybe ask Jesse to do a 30-day vegan challenge with me.
Maybe I do it.
Show you guys the behind the scenes.
That would be interesting because I think as fitness professionals, we do need to try everything. I tried the 6 meals a day. I've tried fasting. I've chosen to continue with fasting. You chose, obviously, also the 6 meals a day and the fasting. You chose fasting. You've tried the meat and now you're vegan. So I think as people and humans, everybody's body is different. Everybody responds to things differently. So I think the takeaway from this is try something for yourself. Don't, because your parents did something, listen to them and think breakfast is the most important thing. Try not having breakfast. See if it works for you. Try things and, glean what you can from it. And what works for you, and what doesn't work for you, doesn't work for me, and drop it. But give yourself adequate time to try it.
Exactly. I love that. I think anyone can achieve results on a plan if they give it time. And then from there, you make a decision on whether or not it's something that you can continue to do in your life, or if it's something that's just not going to work for you. Because at the end of the day, as much as you want to achieve this amazing physique, if you can't create sustainability and turn it into a lifestyle, you are constantly going to be fighting a battle against food and your lifestyle. And let me tell you, it's one of the worst things that you can get yourself caught up in, because you're either happy with your body but very unhappy with your social side of things. And I think that's one thing me and Jesse thought about real hard when we were still together, living together. We wanted to basically